two common standards we will use to define the pullback on the real markets. The first standard right over here is two Maru candles, and the second standard is big Maru candle and one small candle after the big Maru candle right over here. So we will come to explain and giving the example one by one standards right over here. You can see that here is a two Maru candle standards, and on this standards we want to see a consistent buying pressure. For example, right over here, that is a up pullback of the market, and up pullback will appear on the down market structure of the market. You can see on my screen right over here, and on this pattern, you can see two Maru candle can appear like this. You can see the first candle here, second candle here, and sometimes the second candle is smaller than the first candle a little, and sometimes the first candle is smaller than the second candle a little. But all the difference must be follow our rules right over here. You can see my detailed rule right here. The key thing we want to see when we see the pattern like this, that is a consistent pressure of the market, and for this case that is a buying pressure, right? And the condition to define the pattern, the first one is close price of second candle is above close price of the first candle. Here is the close price of second candle, and here is close price of the first candle. The second candle close above of the first candle means that here is a continuous buying pressure on the market. Therefore, we also can understand that here is a consistent pressure through two candles right over here. And the second thing is the total length of second candle is almost similar as the first candle right over here. It means that the difference between total length of two candles is not much difference. For example, we having the first candle total length is 100 pips. Pips is value on forex markets. You can understand that the distance from the lowest into the highest, that is total length, and that is 100 pips. And for the second candle at our standards, it must be from 70% of the first candle. Therefore, the second candle total length must be from 70 pips. That is okay, right? We always judge total length when we compare the candle to candle. We don't care about the body, right? As NCI standards, we always focus on whole story inside the candle, not only body. Because during a candle, tail right over here and body right over here are all the candles and always have the story inside. Therefore, we need to care about these two factors, the length and the body always. And that is the reason why I call total length, right? And you can see right over here, here is a Dow case, everything is totally same, right? The second candle close is below of the first candle close because here is a Dow pullback, right? And the second thing is still same. Total length of second candles is almost similar as the first candle right here. It's from 70% similar, is okay, right? And I would like to give you one example to help you fully understand about Two Maru candle standards. And you can see right over here we have the Dow structure like this, and we have some up pullback right over here. I would like to ask you right over here whether the pattern inside of the box right over here is a valid pullback as Two Maru candle standards, and right over here also same. And you also can pause the video right over here for 1 minute to define whether the pattern inside the box is valid. I'd like to give you the results of the question right over here. We will judge the first case right over here as a standard right here. The first standard is close price of second candle is above of the first candle right over here. When we see series of Maru candles, the close price of second candle is always above the first candle because they are continuously buying pressure. We can see by naked eyes very easily, right? And the first standard over here is always valid. And the second standard, The total length of second candle is almost similar as the first candle, and when we compare the two first candle, we can see that second candle is smaller than the first candle a lot, and second candle total length right over here is almost 50% of the first candle right over here. You can see by naked eyes very easily. On the live trading, I only use my naked eyes to compare the candle like that, and therefore at this time we have a two first pattern like this is not valid at our Two Maru candle standards. Therefore we can move to compare two next candle right over here, and at this time you can see total length of two candle right over here is very similar, right? And therefore this time here is a valid pattern, right? At the first lecture, I try to explain to you to be similar as the condition right over here as much as possible to help you fully understand and easier to absorb the knowledge right over here. But in the real trading, when we see two first candle right over here, we also can judge here is a valid pullback of the markets because the first candle is very big, and we also can use the second standards I will introduce to you next time to judge this case. That is a big Maru candles and one small candle after that, right? And at this time, what we can see on the second case right over here, when we compare to the condition right over here, the first standard right over here is valid always. Second candle close price is above close price of the first candle right here. Therefore, we can come into second standards right over here to continue judge for this case. The total length of second candle is from 70% of the first candle, and you can see by naked eyes, total length of second candle right here is bigger a lot compared as the first candle right here. Therefore, at this time, when we just see two first candle right over here, here is valid pullback pattern. And one more tips I'd like to explain to you right over here. For example, we have a 3 Maru candle in a pattern like this, and we only see two first candle right over here already create a valid pullback pattern. Therefore, at this time, you don't need to care about the third candle and the next candle on the right side right over here. You just need to care two first candle right here is a valid pullback pattern. That is okay. That is the power of the NCI trading system. We only focus to read the key thing on the markets. We don't try to read all the factors on the markets to keep our mind always be empty and relaxed during trading, and you can trade more profitable and consistent. So totally, these two cases are all the valid pullback on the markets, right?